Hey everybody, Roman versus with the Squashfest podcast and my co-host.
You just cut off. I don't know what happened, but it's the Hazelnut King, the boy harm.
Well, it's clear over here, so we should be good.
Yeah, in the middle of your intro, I just stopped playing in my ear. Yeah.
So, just an FYI for everybody, I'm not home. I am out training for my new job, um, and so we're doing things a little wonky today. I'm trying to work off the laptop. The audio is giving us issues. The mic is giving us issues plethora. But yeah, hopefully we can get through this.
That just means they get more of me.
I'm sure everybody's like, yay.
I said they come from my hilarity. Um, all right, so Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw.
It was a pretty solid episode. Um, Again, I feel like we talked about this in SmackDown the other day. This was really a two-segment show with a bunch of other matches thrown in,
Yeah.
and it was fine. I mean, I enjoyed all of the matches, uh, but this was a Raw that didn't feel like it ever had any lulls for me.
Mhm.
All right, so I'll kick off. Uh, we start the show with a Beth. It's gonna be one of the episodes. Punk, Seth, Becky, AJ recap to let everybody who did not watch SmackDown know that we got a returning AJ Lee this past week.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's hilarious. Then they go into their little walk-ins, and Becky and Seth are walking in, and they're arguing like a married couple because you know how married couples fight when stuff is not going their way. So they're arguing, and Becky just I thought it was hilarious. She pushes the camera out of her face and leaves Seth alone, and he walks in like super like a husband who's just been beat down by his wife
Mm.
verbally. I thought that was hilarious. Um, so then we really kick off the show. We enter the arena. Jey Uso kicks off the show, walks in, and immediately better Uso, Jimmy Uso, joins him in the crowd. They make their way down to the ring. They do the stupid run it back because you need to do it everywhere.
You gotta.
I can't.
At this point,
Uh,
just expect it.
I'm aware. Well, maybe not anymore soon. We'll see.
We'll see.
Um, Jay Briggs gets the mic. Jay says that the vision, the Bronson's messed up. Before he could go any further, he's interrupted by Braun and Bronson. Bronson Reed asks Jimmy if he's lost, that this is Monday Night Raw, not SmackDown. Uh, uh, Jimmy is eventually said, oh no, I'm sorry. Braun Breaker says, you guys have some nerve being here after what your family did to Paul Heyman. The crowd starts chanting OTC. Jimmy and Jay start doing their running down of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. And
Hilarious.
the entire time they're doing this, they're doing very early New Day, Day One New Days, before they were even part of the Bloodline, when they would go back and forth like the Wu Tang Clan in their promo segments.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's hilarious. I think they do that very well. That's
They
probably
do.
my favorite version of the Usos. Um, all this time while they're arguing, Braun Breaker, every time somebody mentions Paul Heyman, is trying
Goes
to
off.
make him fight for the ring. He's going off. And Bronson Reed is holding him back. He's like, no, we're not doing that tonight. We're not fighting them tonight. Little did he know. So the twins then say, well, we spoke to Adam Pierce, and regardless if you want to fight us or not, we have a match at WrestlePalooza, the Day Ones versus uh, Bronson and Bronson. So as Bronson Reed asks them to acknowledge their tribal thief, LA Knight comes down from behind and attacks Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker from behind. They start brawling down to the ring while the Usos are just watching. Eventually, after the Bronson and Bronson get control, the Usos hit a plancha. and they go for a second one. Bronson Reed hits a elbow to the face of one of the Usos. I don't remember which one it is. And then the baby faces get into the ring and stand tall. Oh no, actually they get into the ring, and then Jay. There's some spot where Jay is in the corner, and Bronson Reed goes to splat. No, LA Knight goes to hit Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed moves, and LA Knight almost clotheslines or hits Jey Uso while he's in the corner, and they have this little back and forth like, did you mean to do that on purpose? While they're doing that, Bronson Reed then goes to go hit LA Knight. LA Knight moves, and then he hits a splash on Jey Uso while he's in the corner, which is the thread of this entire show, apparently. This one
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
Um, so then Jimmy hits a super kick. They whatever. I think he hits a BFT. They run out, and then Jimmy, no, not Jimmy, Jay and LA Knight are arguing about whether or not LA Knight intentionally set Jay up in the corner with Bronson Reed, which is just super dumb. Like I don't the grasps Jay is making
Yeah.
to say I don't trust LA Knight is crazy.
It's absolutely true. But that's to your point. You said that he's starting to go the Roman route. It's the psychological. He's losing his
It's
mind, so he sees things that aren't there necessarily as he
mm-hmm.
ascends into his "it's me, I'm the guy."
Yeah. We'll touch on that later when Jimmy and Jay have their backstage. So then there we get back from break. LA Knight and Adam Pearce are arguing in the back because he's just like, we can't have fighting all the time. You did need to be out there. And LA Knight basically tells Adam Pearce, I don't care about their tag match at WrestlePalooza. You need to give me what I want. And then so Byron Saxton comes up with a microphone and he says, is it safe to assume? And LA Knight runs down. He goes, he doesn't care about their tag match, and what he wants is one of the bronze. And then the hilarious thing, he goes, I don't care if it's Bronson Reed, I don't care if it's Braun Breaker, I don't care if it's LeBron James, I don't care if it's Little Bronny, I don't care if it's Charles Bronson. If you have Braun in your name, I want a match with you. And I'm just like, what is wrong with this guy? Like,
Well, what I like too, and it kind of protects the character a little bit, is how he said, "I don't care if I lose the match. I just want to take a piece of you with me."
okay, yeah.
So it
Because
protects him because most of the time he's gonna lose that match.
well, he also knew going into this match he can't trust the Usos and no one's going to have his back. So he's going to go into a fight 2-on-1 against these guys who have been just whipping their ass every week.
Yeah.
So um, he also said Jay's delusional because he if he wanted to take Jey Uso out, he'd do it to his face. He wouldn't have Bronson for him.
Yeah.
All right. So then we get AJ Styles. He makes his way out to the ring against El Grande Americano, Ludwig Kaiser. You didn't watch the international feed,
I did not.
so I'll hit you. So
I saw
AJ
the
Styles,
you're talking the AJ promo.
yes, AJ says Gallows and Anderson. He's all alone on Monday Night Raw. Gallows and Anderson are gone. Obviously, they're no longer in the company. Um,
Michin.
is over on SmackDown. And he said someone doesn't want him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to beat the piss out of someone so that person can feel can feel a little bit of that pain also. I don't know what he was talking about because this was a little weird for him to say someone doesn't want me here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I found it really strange, and I understood he did it during the international promo, so we're going to say it's not canon because it's during the international feed.
Yeah.
But it was just really weird that that's the promo he decided to cut last night. And I don't know if it's a storyline they're going to be going down with AJ moving forward because he's supposedly not, his contract is up in February, rumor has. So maybe this is going to be his last story. Like, hey, they don't want me in WWE anymore, even though I want to be here, and then he just goes his way.
Maybe. That was weird though.
Really,
like I don't know how you follow that up.
I know. I was weird. I was just like, I was really confused at where he was going with that. Um, this match is really competitive, really, really good. Ludwig Kaiser, just so underrated in the ring. Like AJ Styles is AJ Styles, but Ludwig has changed up his style to match the luchador thing. He's hitting Hurricane Ranas. He's hitting springboard blockbusters. Like I'm like, what is this guy doing? Ludwig is so good, so underrated. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite characters. He's looks like he's having a ton of fun in this in this gimmick.
Yeah. I mean, I would too if I was being utilized to the level that I am now that I wasn't before.
Yeah, it was always just Gunther henchman, and now he's you know El Grande Americano 2.0. So
I don't think you give it back to Chad.
I think when Chad gets back, you do
Battle for the
Chad versus
mass. Yeah.
yes, no, but not battle for the mask, but Chad, but something where Chad it just looks at him and he's acknowledging that he was El Grande Americano without acknowledging it.
Mm,
Like he almost teases that line, and then he starts a feud with him. I think that's where you go
copy.
until they prove that it was originally Chad Gable. I think that's where you have to go once he gets back. Um, so towards the beginning of this match, actually, so this is right before the first commercial break. AJ's in control. He's going for a phenomenal forearm. I'm thinking, okay, this match is going to be really fast. And Dos Americano comes out. And I believe this was Pete Dunne. I don't know. I can't tell which one is which on the masks. It might have been Tyler Bate because it looked like he had longer blonde hair. Doesn't matter. One of the Americanos comes out, grabs AJ Styles' foot, and allows Ludwig Kaiser to get the advantage. Um, they go back and forth for a while. Towards the end, uh, AJ's in the ring. He's going for a Styles clash. Dos Americano gets on the ring apron, facing with his back to the ramp. Dragon Lee comes out. He pulls the other luchador down. Uh, Ludwig Kaiser goes for the pin, for the roll up. AJ kicks out and reverses it really seamlessly and beautifully into a Styles clash. Like I can't even describe what these guys did. It was like two roll up schoolboy reverses to get AJ into the Styles clash. He hits the Styles clash for the win. Been a really fun match. You got nothing.
Oh, I thought I thought you were gonna continue.
Well,
No,
I don't know. Give you a moment to get in there.
no,
I can't see your face.
I know, I know. No, it was really good. I thought it was a dope match. I just don't know why they didn't bring out Tres. That was my only thing.
Maybe
I would say immediately I was just like, okay, we brought out Dos, where's Tres? That was it. And Dragon Lee, of course, being used for 2 seconds because that's all he's good for, other than losing matches.
anyways. So
I'm not wrong.
we get backstage. He's a Mexican Jey Uso. We get backstage. Not Jimmy Uso.
Ah,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Mexican Jimmy Uso. He gets because we get backstage later, and AJ looks at Dragon Lee and says, "Thank you for having my back, and if you ever need it, I'll have yours." Not like Dragon Lee doesn't have a whole faction with him that can have his back. He needs AJ Styles. Anyways,
Yeah, that's true.
so we got Adam Pearce backstage. He's talking to Io Sky. He's telling her that Stephanie Becker unfortunately couldn't make it to Raw. But as he's saying that, Nikki Bella walks up and asks about Stephanie. And he says to Nikki, well, good thing you're here because I'm telling Io that unfortunately we can't do the contract signing tonight, but the match at WrestlePalooza is still on, which lets Io feel better. Nikki tries to talk to Io. Asuka and Kairi Sane walk up and interrupt. Nikki looks at and says to Asuka, "You need to show me respect. I'm a Hall of Famer." Asuka says respect. It gets in her face. How about I beat the respect into you? And we get that match later that night between Nikki Bella and Asuka. Then we get
I want to know what's going on with Stephanie because I feel like they really be keeping her off TV.
well, she was in a AAA show the night before because
Okay.
they did mention that Ludwig Kaiser was at AAA the night before as Grande Americana. So maybe she had some travel issues. I don't know. There was nothing that I saw why she couldn't make it up.
Copy. It's just
Um,
really weird. They stay. It just seems like they stay keeping her off TV on purpose, and it's just irritating.
all right. So then we got Lyra Valkyria coming off for her match against Raquel Rodriguez. In between the entrances, we got the AJ Lee promo package recapping her career. And then we got our match. Raquel looked really strong during this match.
Phenomenal.
They gave her every opportunity. The match really started when she wrapped Lyra up around the ring post. She was pulling on her hair and
Yeah.
her legs.
Yeah.
And then the story of the match was Lyra's back, right? Lyra couldn't do anything because of the quote unquote back injury that Raquel inflicted on her early. They made her wrestle like a big woman, like a big person, like a big wrestler. Like
Yep.
she was hitting bear hugs. She was hitting like I don't remember what that move is called, but when you wrap your opponent over your shoulder for a submission, like she had a lot of dominant, what we call rest holds, but it was submission holds that would tell the story of the match.
Yeah.
Um,
She reminded me
so
very Kevin Nashy. She was coming across, and I like that.
that's the comparison, right? That's the comparison she needs to have. She has the same. The gimmick is this. I'm not gonna say it's the same as Kevin Nash because of course he was Diesel, so he was a giant. His gimmick was we're gonna make you a big semi truck. Is what
Yeah.
Vince was doing with him. Um, but the move set, the way she towers over everybody, because Kevin Nash is always 7 feet tall, but he was never. I'm not gonna say muscular, seven
Mhm.
foot tall, if that makes sense. He was just a big dude with with girth. That's the
Yeah.
way I look at Raquel. He's muscular, but she's not like ripped Bianca or ripped Rhea muscular, but she's strong.
Yeah. I got
So
what you're
she
saying.
has that same frame. But she looked really good in this match. Lyra got some offense in towards the middle and then towards the end. Of course, it's a heel match, so Roxanne Perez has to get involved. Roxanne Perez towards the end after Lyra. So Lyra, I have the notes here. Lyra goes for a Nightwing towards the end. She can't get it up because of her back. She goes on the top. Uh, she uh, she gets on the Roxanne gets on the apron. Lyra hits the missile dropkick to take Roxanne out. Uh, she goes to the top rope, and Roxanne gets back up. Distracts Lyra, and then really seamlessly, Raquel grabs Lyra from the top rope, almost one-handed, sets her up for a Tahana bomb, hits her in the middle for the 3 count. Raquel Rodriguez gets the win over Roxanne Perez.
They've Lyra
Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria.
in a
And
very shockingly amazing finish because I did not expect her to pull out the win.
yeah, me neither. I mean, this Raquel needed wins. Raquel got the win. It makes her look
Yeah.
stronger.
Yep.
Next week, we're getting Lyra versus Roxanne in a singles match. Maybe Lyra gets her win back there against Roxanne because I can't see you having Lyra lose back to
Twice in a
Raquel.
row. Yeah.
So maybe she gets the win back there. But this is and of the two of them, Raquel and Roxanne has been positioned better as a solo star than Raquel has. As
Yeah.
a team, they've been positioned strong. But if there was one person eclipsing the other in the last few months, it's been Roxanne eclipsing Raquel.
Yeah.
I think getting Raquel this win elevates her so that way you don't feel that way anymore because she is. I've always loved Raquel ever since NXT. I just never thought they would do anything with her because, again, I've said this before. When you have Rhea and when you have Bianca, you already have physically dominant wrestlers on the roster, female wrestlers on the roster, and then you have Nia as well. Raquel kind of feels like the fourth of the big women, and like sometimes she gets lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
And having her wins can elevate her to at least get her close. I don't think she'll ever be to the level of those two women, but get her close. So that way you can actually put her in stuff, and it's not a popcorn match.
Yeah.
Um, all right, backstage we get Penta talking with the Warriors in a trio that just doesn't make any sense to me. Adam Pierce walks up, and Penta walks up to Adam Pierce and says, "Let me talk to you." He goes, "When Penta come to WWE, everybody loved Penta. But why don't you love
Facts.
Penta?" And Adam Pierce is like, "What do you mean? I love Penta. I put you on TV every week." He goes, "No, you don't love Penta because Dominic Mysterio and forgive me, but he says this: Dominic Mysterio is a pendejo,
Yeah.
and if you give Penta the opportunity, Penta will take the champion and he'll be a fighting champion." As he's saying this, Rusev walks up and he looks at Adam Pierce and says, "Adam, why are you not following the plays?" And he goes, "What do you mean I'm not following the plays?" He goes, "You brought Rusev back to Monday Night Raw. Rusev took care of that bastard Sheamus. Rusev now needs to get pushed to a championship opportunity." Penta gets in his face. They argue. Adam Pierce gets between them and says, "We're not fighting in the back. If you guys want to fight for the first time ever, you'll do it in the ring. Penta versus Rusev." And I guess the inclination was the winner of this match would eventually get a championship match against Dominic Mysterio because that's what they were talking.
Mm.
Um,
You're not gonna go on your little tangent about how you called this weeks ago.
no, I was gonna let you say it. I didn't say it. I was waiting for it. I said, "What's Rusev's next feud? It's Penta. It has to be Penta."
Then the match,
All
right?
right,
Later? Or is it right
later.
after?
No, I get it later because then we get. I have my notes because then we get another backstage segment. That's when we got AJ Styles talking to Dragon Lee. The match with Penta and Rusev isn't until the after the AJ segment, the AJ Punk segment. I've like there's according to my notes, there's not another match for a while. So we'll go through this. So then we got where was I? Yeah, we got the AJ talking to Dragon Lee, saying
Mm-hmm.
thanks, and he has his back moving forward. That's when Jimmy walks up to AJ Styles, says, "AJ Styles, my boy," and then have y'all seen Jay? And then they're like, "No," and then he sees Jay. Jay is about to walk out with his fanny pack wrapped around his neck. He's about to walk out. Jimmy asks him where he's going. We got the play to run. And Jay says, "Screw that play. I'm not helping LA Knight. Tonight, you saw what happened out there. He tried to take me out. And helping LA Knight isn't going to help us do anything. They're not going to help us take out Bronson and Bronson. And helping LA Knight isn't going to help me get my World Heavyweight Championship back." Jimmy says, "Oos, you're not sounding like yourself. You're sounding a little bit like Roman." And Jay takes a beat and he goes, "You know what? Maybe sounding like me isn't working." And he walks out of the arena. So then we get AJ Lee segment. She comes down to the ring.
Can I
Still
just say
having
that's also stupid logic because you helping LA Knight does help you get your world title back in the sense that they're not beating all of you guys down to a point where you can't physically compete for your world heavyweight title. Because that's the
he's not
point. They
making
just they just keep jumping you guys.
yeah. He's not making logical sense at the moment because he feel like I said, Roman passed the torch to him to be the number one guy. And I feel like he's feeling the pressure of being the number one guy, and he can't and not having the title that is really weighing on him. And then you have LA Knight over here who keeps blaming Jey Uso for costing LA Knight the World Heavyweight Championship at Clash in Paris, which when Jey Uso just do what you're supposed to do in a fatal 4-way match, and that's break up pinfalls, whatever. Everyone's logic in this whole thing is weird. Um,
Except for Jimmy.
yeah, because Jimmy's super uber babyface right now. He's not gonna do anything wrong. So then, yeah, AJ Lee comes out to the ring, still having Becky Lynch's Women's Intercontinental Championship. She stole it apparently on SmackDown. She gets into the ring. Everyone chants welcome back for AJ Lee. She cuts a real life shoot promo where she's talking about why she left WWE the first time. She's talking about she did everything she wanted to do in professional wrestling. She was the Divas champion. She was at WrestleMania. She was for a lot of the time, especially the last couple of years, she was part of the main event stories on Raw. And she had other things she wanted to do. We spoke about this before. She has a production company. She's written comic books. She's written books. She's a best-selling author. And she thought she was done wrestling forever.
Mm-hmm.
Then she also needs to go on a mental health journey. We've spoken about that. Her book is called Crazy is My Superpower. And she needed to get right. She needed to go to therapy. Never in my life, I'm going to cut myself off real quick. Never in my life, my professional wrestling watching life, did I think we were ever going to get a crowd start chanting for therapy.
Facts.
That was crazy. I was like, wait, what are they chanting? They're chanting therapy to AJ Lee. This is how much she connects with fans. She's such a weirdo, and everyone loves her. That she has them playing on the palm of her hand, and you could see that when she got the therapy chant, she's giggling and laughing. She's like, I can't believe they're chanting for therapy. So she took a shot at Becky Lynch, saying, I actually like Becky Lynch. We could have been friends at one point. You know, me and Becky have a lot in common. She's also a best-selling author, even though I did it first. And so Becky comes out. She also said her and Becky could have been friends, but she had to go motorboat her husband and put her hands on him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm not remembering when Becky motorboated CM Punk.
When she kept putting her head on his chest,
put her
and
head into
yeah.
Punk's chest.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking about the other way around, and I'm like, I don't ever remember Becky putting her breast in Punk's face.
No.
That's okay. That confused me. Okay.
This guy.
That confused me when she said that. I'm like, wait, what? Becky comes out, and Becky is. Wait, my notes got all messed up. Yeah, she's interrupted by Becky, and then the next line of my notes just jumps directly to the New Day thing. But I see the paragraph for Becky. For some reason, it got messed up. Becky said that everyone is insane, and it has nothing to do with this stank-ass town of Milwaukee. That AJ Styles is wearing her championship belt, and how Becky's the greatest women's wrestler of all time. It's not just her saying it. Sports Illustrated says it. Chicago Tribune says it. And I love the fact that she's adding the newspapers for the cities she's in now. She has the Chicago Tribune said it, and the Milwaukee Journal says it. The crowd chants "You suck" to Becky. She said she's gonna be she's gonna have to be the one that needs to go to therapy after all of this. The crowd starts chanting therapy again. And she looks at AJ. She goes, "You don't wear my title. You don't deserve to touch my title." AJ says, "I've been wearing your title all week." It was kind of weird when I was trying to get dressed. Becky takes her glasses off. AJ points out Becky's black eye and apologizes for giving it to her. And she goes, "But you know what? If you want the championship, if you want your title back," she lays it at her feet and says, "Come in and get it." Becky literally says, she almost gets into the ring. She's hesitant to get in the ring. Crowd chants chicken. She goes, "You know what? I'm not going to get into the ring. You little Jersey trash bag weirdo." She asks where Punk is. she asks AJ what kind of man hides behind his wife, because again, that's what Seth's been doing. And Becky says, "Let me show you what a real man looks like," and calls Seth Rollins up. So Seth comes out, and Becky starts, you know, crashing out on Seth, yelling at him, telling her, "You're the man. Go get my championship." All this other stuff. So Seth hands Becky his title, gets into the ring, and he says, "AJ, you've been gone for 10 years. You must have forgotten how things work around here. I'm the world heavyweight champion. So what I says goes." That's actually after AJ says, "You can do one of two things. Becky, you can come into this ring and take the title from me, or you can agree to a tag team match at WrestlePalooza between you and your husband and me and mine." That's when Seth gets into the ring, so saying, "You forgot how things work around here. You don't call the shots. I'm going to come into this ring and take that Intercontinental Championship and give it back to my wife." And AJ, I know me and you have a different affinity for AJ. AJ's adorable. As soon as Seth gets into the ring, she skips over the championship belt like a teenage girl who's just trying to mess around with people. That's how I took this, and it's so funny because she's so tiny versus Seth, and Seth keeps trying to get around her, and she keeps blocking Seth's path. So Seth starts yelling at AJ Lee. Becky's still on the ramp. The crowd starts chanting. Not chanting, it's going crazy off screen. You know Punk is coming out. Punk comes out.
Yeah.
Bumps into Becky. Becky reaches around, feels him, turns around, sees him, says, "Oh shit." Punk walks into the ring. Becky's trying to yell at Rollins to tell Rollins that Punk is coming into the ring, but he's still screaming at AJ that he's not listening to his wife. Punk goes for a GTS. Rollins gets away. Rollins gets the microphone. Becky actually tosses him the microphone. Rollins gets the microphone, and he says, "You know what? Y'all want a tag team match? That's fine. At WrestlePalooza, we'll have the tag team match." As soon as he said that, Becky starts yelling at him because she doesn't want this match.
Yeah.
They toss the title at them. Punk and AJ embrace in the ring again, and they give what they want is the tag team tag team match at WrestlePalooza. This was a really fun segment. I think since Clash in Paris, maybe I would have done the AJ debut a little differently, but they've done nothing wrong. This has been great this entire time. Every time, the Punk Becky segments have been amazing, and I really enjoyed Seth and AJ in the ring last night for that little bit. The chemistry everyone has in this feud has just been so great, and Becky is doing such great heel work right now. I think she might be number one heel in the entire company right now for what she's doing. She's doing such great work.
So this was okay. I don't get it.
I
don't get it. For me, this was just okay. I mean, it was nothing spectacular. It was. I don't need this match. I don't need this match. I would prefer if they were both in singles matches. I don't need a mixed tag match. Do I think it's going to be entertaining? Yeah. But I don't need it.
It's the way to reintroduce AJ Lee to the fans. She says it during her promo.
She said it. She said, for those of you who don't know who I am.
For those of you who don't know who I am, who are 10 years old, who weren't here 10 years ago, I'm AJ Lee, and I'm the reason your millennial parents were freaking out the other day, which is a great line. It's a great line. But this is a way to reintroduce the fans to AJ in ring perspective, for her to get her cardio up, and for her to get the CM Punk rub. It's a lot of it. This is the reason. I know you don't need the match, but this was
I understand the strategy behind it. I'm just saying I don't disagree. I'm just saying I don't need that match. I understand the logistics of it. I understand the reasonings. There's a lot of reasons to do the match. I'm just saying I don't need it. Like it's not something that I'm like, oh my god, I need this tag match. It's gonna be so great. No, it's not.
No, I don't. I don't think the tag match is going to be great. I mean, everyone in the ring is great. Like every four person. If AJ can still wrestle close to what she could 11 years ago,
Hmm.
this is going to be a really good match because everyone in that ring is really good.
Yeah.
Becky and AJ, if I'm not mistaken, have never wrestled because maybe I can find an NXT match from years ago when Becky was in NXT before they made their main roster debut. Maybe they have a match, but for the most part, they've never really wrestled, especially on the main roster. So that would be the one thing I would worry about is them getting their timings right, getting them getting, especially when AJ's coming off of such a long, decade-long hiatus from the wrestling ring, getting her conditioning right.
Hmm.
But all four of these people should have great chemistry. You know, Punk and Rollins have incredible chemistry in the ring at this point.
Yeah.
They're going to protect AJ as much as they can until she's ready because coming out of this match, Punk and AJ are going to win this match. They're going to finish this feud. And then we're going to go directly into Becky and AJ. That's exactly what's happening. We're going to get Becky and AJ for that Intercontinental Championship. I don't think AJ should win it. I think Becky should continue holding that title for a while. But we're going to position AJ Lee into a upper mid card spot to begin with. She's not going into the main event women's spot right away, but they're going to position her into an upper mid card spot where she's
She
going
don't
to
need
get
to later either.
quality. I think if she can
No.
get, if she can prove,
We're not
if she
doing
can
this.
prove, if she can prove she can still go in the ring to the level and have really good matches against the Oscars, the Rheas, the Naomi's eventually a year from now, because if she did sign a long term deal, Naomi AJ could be a really fun feud because they were in the same NXT rookie class before NXT was a thing. Like the history with those two women can go further back. Like there's stuff you can pull from, but she needs to be able to have those types of matches because she's engaging in the ring. She has a connectivity with the fans that not a lot of people have. She's going to get every opportunity to be a main event star in WWE again. They're going to position her that way as long as she can perform in the ring.
I'm good. I think she needs to be there
I know
to
you're good,
elevate other talent.
but she's not Nikki Bella. She's not.
She
She's
might as
not.
well be. It's
No,
the
she's
same
not.
thing.
Not
It's
even
the
a little
same
bit. That
thing.
is not. That's disrespectful.
No, it's not.
AJ Lee and AJ Lee has always been a step above Nikki Bella. Always.
Yeah,
Nikki
yeah, yeah.
Bella Nikki Bella may have the bigger name value in the entertainment world because of what she's done outside of WWE with the TV shows and the podcasts and everything else. But AJ Lee in the wrestling world is a step above Nikki Bella and has been.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She should be there to elevate talent. Got it. That's what I heard.
You're the only person in the world with this take.
I don't think
I
so. They're out
believe
there.
you are.
Nah, they're
No,
out
they're
there.
not.
They're
They're not.
there. We may be the minority, but they're out there. Well, I'll put her with the Nickies and the Trish Stratuses and the Litas and
No,
the. Yep.
no. She's
Yep.
she's no.
Nope.
You're a meathead.
Nope. We don't need this. We don't need this. Continue.
All right. So during one of the international feeds, Vic Joseph is there, and he's trying to interview. And he gets interrupted actually by the New Day and Grayson Waller. And if you have not seen this, I want you to go watch this. Xavier Woods and it rips the microphone out of Vic Joseph's hands, and he's going nuts. Grayson Waller has the petition to block out the Canadian Destroyer from WWE. Xavier Woods is talking about how he has that the Canadian Destroyer is the most dangerous move in WWE. It has crushed vertebrae, it has slipped discs, and everything else. He gives the mic to Kofi, and Kofi calls Xavier Woods a martyr for everybody. That everybody should be thanking Xavier Woods for what he did. Meanwhile, while he's saying you need to thank God for Xavier Woods and thank God for the New Day, Grayson Waller forces Vic Joseph to sign the position, and then puts Vic Joseph down on his knees while he's saying "Thank God for the new day," and Grayson Waller has Vic Joseph's hands like he's praising God while they're
Yo.
doing this. If you have not watched this
I
segment,
have
you
not
need to
seen it
go
yet.
find it. It is hilarious. The New Day is. I texted you last night. Their international feeds are gold. I don't know why they're not on the regular feed. They need more TV time. This version of the New Day. They've taken losing the tag team championships and they turned it into something hilarious. It is so good.
I see it right now. That's ridiculous.
It's so good, bro. All right, let's scroll down a little bit. So, all right. So Penta comes out after the AJ Punk Becky segment. Penta comes out for his match against Rusev, and after the commercial break, we get another Bailey segment, and
I didn't like this one.
I felt like this one was weird,
Yeah, it
and
wasn't
I
like the
think
other ones. Like even just cinematically, the way it looked, it didn't look the way the other ones looked. She
yeah,
looked more in control, which I feel
it
is
was
like the opposite of what we're going for.
it was more in control, but also when they're going back and forth with each version of Bailey talking,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like she does this like little head tilt, like she's listening, but the colors change,
Mm-hmm.
and I just felt like it was really weird. Like it was, if there were more substance to this,
Yeah.
I could understand it. But I feel like the substance was, and I'll just get through it real quick. She says she doesn't know what her next step is. The last person she wanted to hurt in all of this was Lyra. So as soon as she says that, they cut to the dual sides of her personality talking inside her head while she's fighting. He fights to quiet down the voices. Evil Bailey or role model Bailey says we have to do what's best for us. You need to not worry about Lyra. You have to do what's best for you.
Mm-hmm.
Good Bailey, Hugger Bailey, says what's best for us is to make it right with Lyra. Then they both start talking. She again touches her little temples, and she figures out. She just looks at the camera and says, "I'm gonna do what's right, or I'll make it right." And that's the end of the segment. It just this one wasn't as compelling as thing because I don't know. Again, this started out as her fighting her inner demons and mental illness and dual personalities in her head. Now it's just I don't know which way to go, and it just feels like she's maybe they're gonna get away from that, and she's just gonna be the same character, but she's not knowing what path to take inside of that character, which I feel like would be a little bit of a disappointment. Maybe I feel like her actually fighting those thoughts and having to go a little crazy is more compelling than what they gave us last night.
Yeah.
All right, so then we get the match between Penta and Rusev. Uh, Penta got the advantage early. They fight to the outside. Rusev throws him against the announce table. They go to commercial break. Rusev is in control for the entire commercial break. They come out of the commercial break, and Grayson Waller and the New Day make their way out to ringside. I don't know what I wrote here because it says Penta hits a pawn shop. I'm gonna assume that's Penta hits a plancha
Yep.
onto Kofi and Grayson Waller. Um, Rusev goes to attack Penta. He goes for another plancha. Rusev clobbers him from the outside. He gets into the ring. Penta hit a code red. Rusev kicked out. Penta goes to the top rope. Xavier pulls Penta off the top rope because he was the one who didn't get hit by the first plancha. Once he pulled Penta off the top rope, Rusev hit a Machka kick to Penta's chest to get the count. That's it. That's all I got for this match. Rusev wins.
So I was telling you last night what I liked about this match because you knew that Rusev had to win this match.
I
Um,
can't hear you.
you can't hear me at all.
No, you just quiet for like 4 seconds.
Oh, I said, like I told you last night, what I liked about this match was the fact that even though you had Rusev win, you made it in a way so that it didn't necessarily hurt Penta. Because Penta was dealing with the outside interference as well as Rusev, and he held his own for the most part up until the end. So even though he took the L, he still looked really strong out there, which is what you want essentially, because you don't want to bury him either. But you knew Rusev was coming away with this one.
Yeah, and we talked about this last week. Penta can afford a loss because he doesn't drop so much down
Yeah,
with a loss. Rusev can't
Rusev,
afford to have.
if he loses, it's like we've undone it. He spent so much goddamn time with Sheamus. If he loses now, it's
He
over.
becomes if Rusev loses, he becomes Otis.
Wow,
That's the comparison, bro.
that's crazy.
Like
That's a crazy comparison.
he
Otis don't even be on TV, bro.
was at Worlds Collide or whatever the last AAA show was.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So then during this commercial break, Vic Joseph asks Dom about beating AJ Styles. Oh, you didn't see this. This is all also an international break. So he's interviewing Dominic Mysterio, and the crowd is giving Dominic a super babyface chant. They're cheering for him. Dom doesn't play into it. They're chanting "Dirty Dom." They asked him about needing the help of El Grande Americano to beat AJ Styles last week. And Dom says he doesn't know what he was watching, but he beat AJ Styles all by himself. Um, Vic also asked about his match against Hijo del Vikingo this coming Friday at the AAA show. Dom says Iho's the one who needs the help because if you remember the Fatal Four Way, he's the one who needed the help to defeat them and retain his title. And coming out of this Friday, no one needs to worry because he's going to be a double champion. And then he walks away, all while the fans are chanting
Nice.
"Dirty Dom." I don't think Dom wins that mega
I don't think
championship.
so either.
They're just using WWE talent to try to get AAA
Yeah.
more views on YouTube because even though AAA has a American TV deal with I think it's Univision, I think AAA gets aired on there.
Mm.
I can totally see TKO taking AAA and saying, "Hey, we're going to try to put you on an actual American television channel, not a Spanish speaking channel, moving forward." Almost like an NXT CW deal, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're trying to. So then Nikki Bella comes out for her match against Asuka. I have very few notes for this match because these women have zero chemistry.
I saw her. I saw that
Horrendous.
coming.
This match was horrendous, bro. like, uh, God.
You're such a
So
hater.
the very beginning of the match, they're trying to make Nikki look strong against Asuka without doing any physicality. So they're doing a lot of chain wrestling, but their chain wrestling was super slow. And Nikki looks so uncomfortable getting in and out of the roll up pinfalls and stuff. Like I'm just watching. I'm like, what are they doing? Um, so so after the break, Nikki takes control. She hit the kick on Asuka that she missed on Becky at Clash in Paris. Um, they go for the sunset flip, and I don't know what they were doing. And the sunset flip for the pinfall was horrendously slow and bad. Like this is just, I think that was my worst spot of the match when they went for that sunset flip in the corner. When they get out of it, Asuka hit the kick on Nikki. Nikki kicked out at one. Asuka goes for the Asuka lock. Nikki reverses it into an Alabama slam. She goes for the rack attack. Nikki misses. Asuka hits a roundhouse kick.
Mm.
Um, and instead hits a jumping cartwheel kick. Uh, and then puts the Asuka lock in as Nikki taps out. This was fine. Asuka's not going to take any losses because she's in her little mini story with Eel and uh, Rhea and Kyrie, and Stephanie. So Asuka's not going to take any losses going into that. They need to make her look strong. Uh, Kyrie saying to me, I know Asuka's doing great work because Asuka's technically a heel and Kyrie's still positioned as a babyface, which is weird. Kyrie saying to me is doing great work while not speaking.
At all.
Like her facial expressions where she's uncomfortable around
Or
Asuka and
when she
everyone
jumps
else.
up and everything. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's so good. Like Kyrie's doing great work. She's really selling middle sister being scared of mom like constantly. Uh, so then backstage we get the Judgment Day celebrating Raquel's win, and they said next week Roxanne will do the same when she beats Lyra. Dom walks in. Finn and JD tell Dom that they're uneasy about his relationship with Grande Americano, and that no one helps out unless they want something from it. Dom says, "Don't worry about it. It's a lucha thing, and maybe he wouldn't need El Grande's help if Finn and JD didn't get banned from his match last week." He storms out, and Roxanne goes, "I'll go talk to him," and she leaves.
You heard the crowd though
They're
when she
still
said, "I'm gonna
teasing.
go talk." Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. They're still teasing Roxanne, like trying to like with Dom
it's just a
because
much
they went
slower
away
burn.
from that for a while. They
Yeah,
went away for a while, but yeah, I would have liked another segment with just the two of them talking
I agree.
later in the show. Like they, yeah. So that's when LA Knight comes out for his match against Bronson Reed. And then we come out of the break. Backstage, Nikki's walking, and Asuka gets in her face, and she says for Nikki to tell Stephanie what happened to Nikki is exactly what Io is going to do to Stephanie. Nikki and Asuka get face to face. Nikki pushes Asuka, and when the camera pans back to Nikki, Asuka goes to attack her, and Rhea is standing next to Nikki. Rhea says, "Do we have a problem here?" Asuka says, "Yeah, we have two problems. I'm the number one woman in WWE, and Rhea reminds her that it's Io fighting for the title and not Asuka." And then Asuka just storms off, and then not Io Sky. Kyrie
Kyrie,
Sane is just standing there. Kyrie Sane is just standing there watching, staring at Rhea and
Nikki.
Nikki, and they're both looking at her, and they're feeling bad for her in
Yeah,
that moment. And then you just hear Asuka just. It didn't even sound like she said it. It sounded like Kyrie this time. It just sounded like she growled,
yeah.
and Kyrie scurried off to run with Asuka. Um, this match is just a match. LA Knight and Bronson Reed, they have a fine match. During the break, Bronson Reed empties the announce desk and throws LA Knight back into the ring. I just skipped right towards the end. Towards the end, Bronson Reed goes for the splash in the corner. He misses. LA Knight stomps him out. They fight to the outside. Bronson goes for a splash through the timekeeper's area. He misses. LA hits him with like a double axe handle off the top of the timekeeper's area. Bronson Reed misses a senton in the ring. Knight hits a jumping elbow. Uh, Goes for BFT. Bronson pushes him. Breaker gets on the ring apron, allowing Bronson Reed to hit the Death Valley Driver, which apparently is going to be one of Bronson Reed's new finishing moves because they gave it a name. I don't remember what the name was, but it was a Death Valley Driver for the win. Braun Breaker hits the ring. They beat down LA Knight. Jimmy Uso's music hits, and he comes to the ring to help LA Knight. He gets speared for his trouble. They beat down Big Jim. Jey Uso's music hits. He comes out to the ring, hits a super kick on Bronson. He does his imitation of the Rock punches on Braun Breaker. Goes for a splash. Braun Breaker hits a spear on Jey Uso. Uh, he sets up both Usos in the corner to set up the tsunami from LA Knight. From tsunami from Bronson Reed.
I was gonna
LA
say
Knight
what?
yeah, no, the tsunami from
People
Bronson
switching
Reed.
sides.
Uh, the tsunami from Bronson Reed. LA Knight comes with the chair, hits Bronson Reed in the back from while he was on the top rope. Uh, Bronson and Bronson run away. Knight looks at Jey in the corner. He was sitting in the corner. He yells at him, "Are we good now?" Jey says, "Yeah, we're good." Knight daps up Jimmy. Jay pops out of the corner and spears LA Knight while Jimmy stares at him. And Jay is yelling at LA Knight while he's down, "We're good now," and yeets over him while the show goes off the air.
That just don't sound right.
He yeets over him, but he
Yeah,
did.
I
He
know,
went,
but it
even the
don't
way he
sound
yeeted,
right.
he went like this. He went really slow. Like he didn't do it enthusiastically. He just stood over him and
Oh god.
yeah. So the question is, they teased it. Coming out of this, is it possible we're getting a Jey Uso heel turn?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think this is just
I
more
think it's
consistency.
comparable to when Roman in the beginning was heelish but not heel.
Yeah.
He turned heel much later on during the first run. I think it's kind of like that. I just don't think you pull that trigger right now, considering the merch sales for Jey Uso and the pops he gets. But then again, it's just the eating thing. He can still do that as a heel.
Yep. I mean, I don't think you're going to get a heel turn from him. This version of Jey Uso, if he's going to be complex and have more of an edge to him, and that's going to be how he feels like has to get back to his World Heavyweight Championship, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I didn't like this Jeff Hardy, I'm a super babyface playing to the crowd version of Jey Uso. But him losing the championship to Gunther, trying to get it back, getting stuck in this Bronson and Bronson Seth Rollins vortex for months and not being able to get back his championship is starting to weigh on him. I think he's starting to lose it, and he's starting to transition into Roman early days, where Roman's like, the reason I do these despicable things to everybody is because I need to do them to keep my place at the top.
Yeah.
That was and that's where I think Jay is starting to understand and transition, because he is, again, this is a long burn story that's 5 years going on how to get Jey Uso into the main event. He
Mm-hmm.
was the right hand man. He was picked for Roman to be the next guy after Roman,
Yeah.
and he got there this year finally, and he's starting to understand as a character to stay in that place. Maybe Roman was right in a lot of ways. Maybe you have to do some of the things that Roman was doing that we villainized him for when we were under him. Maybe I have to start going that route to stay and keep my spot. And I think that's where we are with Jey Uso. He's starting that progression. While Jimmy is just like, I don't like this version of you. I don't want you to become what we hated, without seeing it from Jay's perspective, because Jimmy hasn't ever had a singles championship. Jimmy's never had the single success that his twin brother has had. So
Mm-hmm.
he's just looking at it as, you're becoming something we didn't like. Please don't do this.
But what
While
I
Jimmy's
also, the
like,
other layer that I like is the fact that, remember, years ago when Jimmy went up against Jay, it was because he felt that he was going to turn into Roman, and essentially that's exactly what's happening.
you're super. You just cut out
I,
essentially.
I said, like, years ago, how Jimmy went up against Jay thinking, hey, I don't want you to turn into Roman, and that's exactly
Yeah,
what's happening right now.
yeah, yeah. So it'll be interesting next couple weeks. I think when you have that match at WrestlePalooza, you need to have some sort of Jay and Jimmy had to have some sort of face to face moment in that match where Jay wants to do something despicable to Bronson and Bronson, and Jimmy tries to stop him,
Mm.
and they need to have that face to face during the match. Maybe that could cost them that match, because I don't think they should win that match. I think Bronson and Bronson should win that match.
Mm. I guess. I'll
Just
agree with that.
just on a storytelling perspective, I think it'll push Jay even further down
It'll help,
down the
yeah, it'll
madness.
push him that way. And it also boosts up Braun and Braun because they just beat one of the most decorated tag teams of all time.
Yep. And they keep talking about Braun Breaker being future WrestleMania main eventer, and everybody can see it. But this is, I'm not gonna say it's Bronson Reed's first real push, because he was the monster who was taking out all the monsters a year ago or a couple years ago. But Bronson Reed is getting elevated right now in a way that he hasn't been elevated on the main roster. So you don't want to squash this momentum because if you notice, I don't know, Rollins is trapped in this Becky Punk AJ Lee stuff right now, but
Yeah.
you haven't seen Paul Heyman since Roman took him out of Clash of Paris, and they're allowing Bronson and Braun to go off on their own on TV without any acknowledgement of Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like a trial run. Can they do this if we do separate them from Seth?
Yeah.
Maybe you just have them as a tag team or a two-man force, and you know while they're still part of the vision, they're not. But their story has nothing to do with Seth's story right now, which is
Yeah.
really good that they separated them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Monday Night Raw.
That was a fine show. It wasn't super
I think it was
crazy.
a fun show.
Yeah.
It was a fun show. I think everything on the show. There was never any lulls, and everything entertained me for the most part.
Oh,
There was
so
nothing.
Asuka and Nikki entertain you. That's good to hear.
It was entertaining, even if I was laughing at it. Sometimes bad wrestling is fun. Asuka is a great wrestler. Nikki has her moments in the ring where she's solid, but there are other moments where it's like, what in the world is she doing? And it's not her fault because, again, she's never been a truly polished wrestler. She got better towards the end of her run, but she's never been a truly polished wrestler. And she's never been in the ring with most of the women who are on today's roster. So she's not she doesn't have that chemistry with the Oscars or
Yeah.
the Beckys, right? Like towards the end of her run, she had a small feud with Charlotte Flair for the Divas Championship to give Charlotte her first women's championship, and they had solid matches. But she doesn't have. Nikki Bella is not making house shows. Let me put it that way too. She's
That's
not
true.
showing up in Poughkeepsie to face somebody to shore up a match. They may run through the match once or twice during the day before the show airs, but they're not. But she's not making every show because she has other things she has to be doing.
Yeah.
You know, Nikki has a wine company with her sister. She has the podcast with her sister. She's whatever USA show she hosts with Blake Shelton on TV sometimes. Like she has other things she has to do, so she's not making the towns. So sometimes her matches can come off really sloppy. That's just, and it is what it is. Nikki is entertaining, but in the ring, you know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a C plus match.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
Let's see what AJ gives us.
I think the tag match will not be an A. I think that match will be solid because they're going to make her look good. They're not going to give her a lot of time in the ring in that match. That the majority of that match is going to be carried by Punk and Rollins, and it's going to be the end when Becky tags in and AJ has to get in the ring and hit 5 to 10, maybe 15 spots and make her look really good to the end.
AJ wins that match, though.
No, absolutely. She's going to hit her with the octopus stretch, the Black Widow, and Becky's going to tap out. And that's how you motivate the Intercontinental Championship feud. Because if Rollins gets pinned, then you're going to be like, Punk will be like, I pinned the World Heavyweight Champion. I want my championship match against Rollins.
Yeah.
I think AJ makes Becky tap to motivate the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah. Oh. But yeah, overall, that was a really good show. Again, I'm not home, so we're going to try this again for SmackDown.
On Saturday.
Actually, no, I should be back because I drive back Friday during the day, so Saturday I'll be home.
Okay.
So it's only this one show that's going to look clunky.
Got it.
Yes. And then you'll see me again, buddy. Instead of the little picture you're looking at right now.
Yes, exactly. The little hey.
All right, but that's going to do it for us. As always, we appreciate you guys. Continue to like, follow, subscribe. You can find us on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and I think that's it. I
For the moment.
forget.
No, that's it. I mean, I have we're on Castbox, but no one uses that. I only use it because my daughter steals my Spotify all the time.
Mm,
But we need to figure out the Apple Music thing, the Apple Podcast thing.
that's all you,
Get
but.
on Apple Music. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll do that today. All right, but yeah, that'll do it for us. Keep an eye out for more TikToks. I guess I'll start doing the TikToks today. Um,
Yay.
Shut
And that's it. But
up.
yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.